Claremont, New Hampshire is a working-class mill town on the state's western border with Vermont. It's 5 o'clock on a recent cold spring morning, and Chris Merchant, who's 26, is walking to work. His car needs a new starter, but that repair will have to wait. It's the busy season at his job, an herb packing plant, and for the next 10 hours or so, he'll do just that.
I make $8.50 now an hour, and right now it's actually one of the better jobs around here. I make about $15,000 a year, and I roughly make between $1,200 and $1,300 a month.
Erin Kainu is Chris's 21-year-old fiancée and the mother of his 2 boys, Shane, 3, and Christian, 1.
We feel helpless a lot, like if something goes wrong with something, there's just nothing we can do about it. And that's why I've started babysitting, because his income alone just wasn't enough, and mine helps a little more. I make $99 a week, which is about $400 a month.
That puts the family's income at $18,000, just below the federal poverty line. It also qualifies them for some federal assistance, like a partial rent subsidy for their modest first-floor apartment and Medicaid for the kids. It also means they can get help from Brenda St. Lawrence, a home visitor from Good Beginnings, a local social service agency.
Hi, how are you?
It is so hard for these families. I mean, they're working so hard just to pay their rent, the lights, the heat. You know, do the numbers. They don't work. I'm there to help them do budget, and I'm trying to keep smiling and say, well, we can work these numbers, but guess what? I don't have that magic.
I can only imagine what it is like to wake up every morning and to see no end in sight.
Often people feel that there's no way out for them, that they have no ability to create a different life, even though they keep striving. And I've been impressed by how persistent, relentlessly persistent people are in continuing to work hard. But the debt is like a quagmire.
Chris and Erin know that quagmire all too well. Chris piled up credit card debt when he was barely out of his teens.
I think about it all the time and think, you know, I was really irresponsible and stuff, and kind of regret it to this day. And, just eventually hope that it straightens out and we can get everything turned back around and be all right in the long run.
Yeah, we take all the responsibility. We know we've made some poor decisions. Neither of us were growing up taught anything about credit.
And their beat-up car in need of a new starter? It's a replacement for a much better one the couple lost this winter over a $350 loan for heating oil and Christmas presents. The interest rate would have shocked a middle-class borrower with good credit.
It's about 37% a month. And then they said if you take and pay on a whole year, it ends up being like 375% more. I lost my job and wasn't able to pay the loan, and we ended up losing our car, unfortunately.
It made us feel pretty bad. I mean, it was the only car we had, so, and I think they auctioned it for $1,200, but we didn't get any of it, and they took the whole thing and said it was basically interest.
People are like corporations when they borrow money. The less healthy they are financially, the higher interest they have to pay. These families are not AAA rated, that's for sure. And when they're vulnerable, predatory lenders swoop down on them and figure out how to separate them from as much money as possible.
And losing the car led, like falling dominoes, to another trap for low-income families. Rental operations offering temptingly low monthly charges.
I just couldn't get to the laundromat, so we had to get the washer and dryer.
These families are paying close to $800 to $1,000 for a wash machine because it seems so little, $10 a week. But the bottom line is they're paying triple what we would pay.
I think about money all the time. It's constantly on both our minds.
Right, are we going to have enough money to pay the bills? Are we going to have enough money to pay for food, to feed our kids?
But the struggles arising from low wages, high interest rates, bad choices, and forced hands, Shipler says, take a toll beyond money.
And when you feel powerless, when you feel you don't have control, I don't think you make decisions very well, because you don't feel that a decision or a choice has an impact, and therefore you often make the